Hey, true believers, it's Englentine here with the top 10 comic books sold to customers. The Wednesday Warriors, so to speak. So, yeah, the diamond distribution, when you read Comicron, goes directly to the shops. Those are the sales you're seeing. These are the ones that people are actually buying. So, yeah, it gives us an idea a little bit more of how the industry is doing, especially since Marvel keeps blowing smoke up our butts. Now, a little shout out to everybody here who participated. And got to give it up. This is Bleeding Cool's list now. Take that with a grain of salt. Once again, I think it's a fun little list. I do like the name G-Mart here. I asked for shout-outs for some cool name comic shops that people go to every week. And this week we got the Fourth World Comics in Long Island. Local Heroes. I enjoyed that movie in the 80s as well. From Norfolk, Virginia, and Superstars Superheroes in Davenport. Now, personally, as a Jack Kirby fan, I'm going to give it to Fourth World Comics. But if you have a cool named comic shop near you, please give it a shout out as well. Let's get them some publicity there. And I enjoy doing that because, come on, Fourth World Comics, that's pretty cool. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the top 10. So without further ado, let's get down to brass tacks. Number 10 is Invincible Iron Man number 594. Number 9 is Star Wars number 39. Number 8 is Justice League of America number 19. We have X-Men Gold number 16 at the number 7 spot. Number 6 is Wonder Woman number 35. 5 goes to Black Panther number 167. At number 4, we have The Flash number 35. Action Comics 992 comes in at number 3. Number 2 goes to Detective Comics 969. And finally, in the number 1 spot in every store interviewed, The Doomsday Clock number 1. Big shock surprise. Now let's get down to the fun part where we find out what the shops had to say about this week. In the first metal-less week of comics, Doomsday Clock absolutely destroyed every other book on the shelf. We sold well over 100 copies in just 2 days, making it one of our best-selling books in that short period of time. We almost sold 100 on day 1 alone. On the other side of the aisle, FFF darling Donny Cates made the top 10 twice this week with Thanos at number 4, the highest selling Marvel book we've had in a while, and Redneck at number 9. X-Men Gold also managed to place in the top 10 at number 8, which is a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. The X-Men are finally getting the attention the title deserves, as Marvel seems to suddenly remember that people like those characters and are willing to buy their books if they have well-written and interesting stories. They're not perfect or as prolific as they once were, but Guggenheim is working on it and he's going in the right direction. Of course, they also got outsold by an alt-Earth dystopic future Nightwing miniseries, and of course, Batman Who Laughs won't let metal leave a week unmetalized as it manages to take the number 10 spot in its second week. Well, there you go. One shop still has a Batman metal on it, and it's good to know that the X-Men are getting back up there. Sherlock Frankenstein, the Black Hammer spinoff from Dark Horse, is the only indie book besides Redneck to make the top 10. Black Hammer isn't a huge seller, so it's odd to see a spinoff book sell better than average. I wish some of these new Image and Dark Horse and other small publishers were selling better. They all seem to get good buzz, but that just doesn't translate to numbers. Sure, there's the rare Realm or Baby Teeth, but it's hard to gauge how well a book is going to do before it gets to the shelf. And I agree with that. I talk about indie comics sometimes, and it would be nice if we kind of shifted our focus over there away from the travesty and train wreck that is Marvel Comics. Invincible Iron Man, Punisher Platoon, and Generation X all sold well enough to make the top 20. People like Garth Ennis on the Punisher, and it's no shock to see it sell better than the Legacy series. As far as Invincible Iron Man and Generation X, it's great to see them start to sell more, but it's still funny that they're both being outsold by Suicide Squad. Runaways TPBs are getting some extra attention, with the first few episodes of the show being well received. We enjoyed the first few episodes and think it's off to a great start. I haven't yet watched the Runaways TV show. I can say that the last issue of Runaways, the comic book I read, was pretty cool. Thanksgiving made it a crazy week, having regulars out of town with new people visiting. Doomsday Clock took the top spot, of course. Marvel's lucky to have the Star Wars license. It's the only book for Marvel this week to make it into the top 10. Exo Manowar managed to sneak in again for Valiant. The rest, all DC titles. We sold 3 times more Doomsday Clock than any other book this week. Wow. It was a shorted and slower week, so that probably contributed to 3 Marvel books making it into the top 5, and Batman Who Laughs coming in at number 10. I am very much looking forward to seeing how Doomsday Clock does over the next 5 weeks. It might be our best-selling comic book of the year. It is amazing, the anticipation on this thing, and the fact that every comic shop is reporting that it's the #1 book by huge leaps and bounds, That is something to say. Doomsday Clock was our #1 seller this week. Something I'm sure we have in common with every other comic book seller in the country. Altogether, including 4 covers, we sold 4 times as many Doomsday Clock issues than we did of our next best-selling issue, X-Men Gold number 16. The lenticular Rorschach cover alone sold about double X-Men Gold. That disparity represents our sales pretty well this week. Doomsday Clock flew off the shelves, and pretty much everything else did kind of meh. A lot of love for the X-Men. Of course, I mean, they raved about Doomsday Clock, but everybody's going to be doing this time around. But what's really surprising me is how much love X-Men Gold has been getting, because it started off rocky, kids. As I imagine will be the case for a great majority of retailers this week, our bestseller was Jeff Johns and Gary Frank's Doomsday Clock #1. The much-hyped sequel to Watchmen. It sold so well, in fact, that it makes the rest of our list feel a bit like an afterthought. There are still some interesting items to note, however. The dominance of Batman on our week-to-week sales abates quite a bit here, though. Detective Comics 969 still presents in the top half of the list. Black Panther #167 maintains that title's steady sales. And Rebirth Era Superman, whose overall sales performance remains vastly improved over the New 52 era, continues steadily towards his industry landmark with Action Comics 992. Wonder Woman 35 sits comfortably in the middle of the pack, while the bottom half of the list gives us several showings from Marvel with the likes of Cable 151 and Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 13. Well, there you go. At least the top 10 is showing some diversity in titles, at least between Marvel and DC at some places. That has not been the case for past countdowns. If we had counted each cover as a separate item, Doomsday Clock #1 would have taken the top 4 places in our store's sales charts. Detective would have taken 5th and 7th, and Action would have taken 6th and 8th. DC outsold Marvel more than 6-1 today in our stores, with the best-selling Marvel title, Star Wars #39, only making it to 14th place. Marvel's sales situation is approaching disastrous. Readers have now tired of Marvel's overdependence on variants and are rejecting all of them. The core titles are down significantly, and our most recent Marvel orders have reached previously unseen proportionate lows. If Marvel isn't going into crisis mode right now, they're making a major mistake. Never before has a comics company fallen out of favor so precipitously and so suddenly. And holy Toledo, this guy just politely... I never seen a polite bitch slap before. I think this right here is the most polite bitch slap I've ever seen in my entire life, right here. At least, of course, in text. Hashtag polite bitch slap. But, of course, Tom Brevoort himself says, you know what, floppies, they are not where we shine. We shine in digital. So we're going to check out Comixology because it is the largest digital comic shop and see exactly how Marvel is doing. Number 10, Invincible Iron Man 594. Number 9, Teen Titans number 14. Number 8 is the trade paperback for Batman the Dark Knight Master Race. Number 7 goes to Wonder Woman number 35. 6 belongs to Injustice 2 chapter number 33. At number 5 we have The Flash number 35. Number 4 goes to Star Wars 39. At number 3 is Action Comics 992. In second place comes Batman Detective Comics 969. And surprisingly enough, at number 1, Doomsday Clock number 1. So there you go. What we've got here is we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 in the top 10 are DC this week, with only 2 being taken by Marvel. Now, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to expand this out to 20 as I always do to see exactly, does Marvel still get that 8? Do they expand in the top 20 any more than they do in the top 10? Immediately, Marvel gets a boost at number 11 with X-Men Gold number 16. Number 12 goes back to DC with Batman I Am Bane trade paperback. Marvel tries to hold on by taking the 13th spot for Black Panther 167. The only independent comic represented in the top 20 digital comic sales is Rat Queens number 6. At number 15 is All New Wolverine number 27. Then back to DC at number 16 for Nightwing's New World Order number 4. DC Comics continues to strangle Marvel out of the top 20 with Justice League of America number 19. At number 18, and in what I can only assume is an embarrassing turn of events, the Gabby Award-winning Batgirl of all things helps to push Marvel out of the top 20. Number 19 goes to the All-Star Batman Volume 2 trade paperback. And closing out the top 20 is Batman Detective Comics Volume 3 League of Shadows trade paperback. And now I can hear, little Englentine, you're cheating. DC has 3 trade paperbacks and we're counting floppy comics. So yeah, you're cheating here. That's the way DC's winning. Okay, settle down all you fans of Tommy Boy Brevoort. Let's clear things up. And here are the next 3 comics had there not been trade paperbacks in this countdown. Without the trade paperbacks, number 18 would have been Batman Beyond number 14. Number 19 would have added an extra spot for Marvel with the criminally underread Thanos, number, 13? And number 20 is the only reason why I would really like to take the paperbacks out of the countdown, so we get Doom Patrol on the list. Holy crap, Doom Patrol of all things, kids. That's pretty damn cool, because talk about criminally underread books. This is the only one of the young animals I really thought held up, to tell you the truth. But there you go, Tommy Boy Brevoort. Sorry, once again, we prove you guys just do not have the legs. You don't have the muscle to carry a top 10, much less a top 20. Even if we remove DC Comics trade paperback entries, Marvel Comics only has 6 in the top 20. That is 2 less than last time. And what's criminal is there's only 1 independent. I would love to see more DC, more independent comics in the top 20. And, you know, have Thanos, Iron Fist, and Daredevil in the top. Okay, and Star Wars books. They're fine, because they're good too. But otherwise, I think this, once again, proves the point. Man, they're just not working. And DC is kicking some serious ass. A lot of people are worried now, you know, with if Marvel's unhealthy, the comic book industry is unhealthy. Not if everybody's buying other things. I mean, you know, if we're still spending the money, but we're just buying different things, then the money's still in the industry. Just saying. But that's just the way I look at it. We've got some money men out there can tell me if it works that way or not, and I would love to hear from them, by all means. Please, guys, leave comments below if you are money men, you know how all this stuff works. How is it that if we're still spending money in the thing, if Marvel's weak, do we lose anything? Alrighty, but those are my opinions on the top 10 list, on the comments are made. What are yours? What did you think about not only what's in the top 10, what would you love to see in the top 10? What did you think of some of the things they said or what I said about what they said or any of that? Are you surprised something's making it? Are you surprised something's left out? All of that. Just, leave it in the comment section below. How do you think I could improve this also? What could I do differently other than get a better voice? Let me know that in the comments below also. And here comes the pitch and the begging. So if you do like this video, you like videos like this, please by all means click like, share, because that's important, getting the word out about the channel. And if you haven't done it already, click subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss anything, because sometimes cool things happen around here. Also, this is the way we make our living, so if you don't mind, drop $1 in the till. Go over to Patreon or VIDME. There's links in the description below. We'd love to thank everybody who's already done that. We seriously appreciate it. And to everyone, all of the true believers whose rainbows come in only 4 colors comic book style, we just like to say thank you very much for taking your time out, and thank you very, very much for watching.